Hey there. In this video, we're going to be looking at the different split by transformations available to you in Power Query. So we're here in simple toolbar transformations.xlsx. We're in the split by sheet, and here's the data we're going to work with. So I'm going to click on the table. I'm going to head to the Power Query tab in the ribbon, and I'm going to go to Get Data from Table. Okay, we're going to open it up here in Power Query. So split by is it's a tool that you use when you've got a column that contains more than one piece of information that you want. This is pretty similar to in Excel if you're used to text to columns. It's basically the same exact tool. So for example, here in the name column, we've got the last name, then the first name. Well, that might be just fine for us, but perhaps we actually want the first name and the last name to be in two separate columns. So that's what we're going to use split to handle. So let's start by splitting up the name here. We're going to click on that row, and we're going to head up here to split column, and we're going to split it by a delimiter. Delimiter sounds like a really fancy word. All it means is there's some special character in the text string which indicates where to do the splitting. So right now, if you'll notice, we've always got the last name, comma, first name. So we're going to split by the delimiter of the comma. That's going to let us know where to end one column and start the next column. Okay, so here we're going to choose which delimiter we want to use. Oftentimes you'll use the semicolon, but now we're going to use the comma. We're going to use the comma. And it asks us, do we want to split for every single instance of the comma? Well, here there's only one. But let's say that there were 5 commas in here. It would ask us, hey, do you want to split that into 6 full different columns? Or do you just want us to break off the last piece on the left or the last piece on the right? Well, we want to do it for every single occurrence of the comma. There's only one, so that's just fine. And we're going to go ahead and click OK. Okay, so that was it. That was pretty easy. Now let's head back to where we were, let's see, before. So here's where we were, right? Last name, comma, first name. Then we head over to here, and now it's name.1 and name.2. So this is the last name, and this is the first name. So let's go ahead and rename those. Name last, and rename this name first. Okay. So another common instance where you'll use this is where you've got a semicolon delimiting the different parts of the text string you want to break apart. So here we've got the city, and indeed there's the city in there. There's Beaverton, Vancouver, and Portland, and then you've also got the state and the zip code. Well, let's say we want to break that up into 3 separate columns. We're going to use a split by to do that. So click on the column, left click there. Split column, again by delimiters. Hey, do we want to use the comma again? Well, we used, I can't move this. Let me hit cancel. Last time there was a comma there. If I head back to here, there's a comma that's doing the delimiting. In this instance, there's no comma, there's a semicolon. That's what we wanted to split by. So we're going to split by a delimiter, and we don't want comma, we want semicolon. Okay. And again, there's 2 semicolons in these rows, splitting apart the city, state, and zip code. So we're going to break it at every single occurrence of delimiters because we want all 3 finished columns. So if we click OK, now we've got, oh boy, what did I do? I think I clicked the wrong column. Let's see, undo, click there, split by column by delimiter. We want semicolon, and we're going to click OK. There we go. I think I must have clicked on the wrong column there. So we were here, right? So we've got a semicolon breaking apart these 3 different parts of the data that we want. And now when we're all done, we've got a city, a state, and a zip code. So let's go back to here where we were. What if we don't want to break it apart at every instance? We only want, say, we're only interested in the last one. Well, that's pretty easy. We only want the zip code, say. So we're going to do split by column, again, by delimiter. And we're going to do a semicolon again. And this time, we only want to do it at the rightmost delimiter. So we only want the last piece. So if we click OK, notice that the first semicolon is still in there, but where the semicolon was before, the last one, that one right there, there, and there, we've split it off. We've split the data into 2 pieces at the last occurrence. Okay. Let's see. Let's head back here a little ways. We're going to remove a bunch of steps here. When we loaded the data, it actually started off looking like this. This is what it looks like over in Excel. And it saw this and it automatically interpreted these as dates, which was pretty smart of it. So it converted it to those dates right there. But let's say that for whatever reason it doesn't do that. We've got data that looks just like this. It's not smart enough to figure out that it's dates. And we want to break this apart into the day of the month, and the year. Now, looking at this, you might use the space as the delimiter, and that would probably work, but it looks a little funny. And the reason is, the way this works, let's see if I can move this over here so you can see how it works. They're actually using white space to line these things up. This is something you don't see as much anymore, but a long time ago when you would get data, to make it line up visually, they would include a certain number of spaces between the different bits of data, so that the first of the month would line up, and then the year would line up. So it doesn't line up here, but that's what's going on. So what we want to do is, in fact, I wrote myself a hint, we're going to split at the 13 character mark. So rather than splitting by a delimiter, which is what we've been doing, we're going to split by a number of characters. Number of characters. In fact, I already forgot. What did I say it was? 13? Does that sound right? Yeah, there we go. 13. So we're going to click on this, split by number of characters. How many do you want to split by? Well, we're going to split by 13. Oop, 13. And we're going to go, I think repeatedly is okay. Click OK. And now we've got, let's see, let's undo the change type again. Now we've split apart the year from the date, which is exactly what we wanted in this particular example. Okay, well, that's how split by works. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you next video. Hey, little addendum here. I realized that I showed you that last step, but I didn't really explain why it works. So we were right here, right? And then I just say, all right, well, we're going to split by, and I choose by position, and I select 13, and we end up with these results that I want, but I don't really explain why it works. The reason it works is if you were to look at this, over in Excel, every space is the same size as the characters, so these line up real well. Here, the spaces between characters are smaller than the actual letters, so these things don't line up. But what's going on here is the 13th character is like right there, right? So when I split by the 13th character, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and that's where it makes the split. And everything to the right of the 13th character gets its own column over here, and everything to the left of that 13th character gets its own column over there. So, like, this is 1 through 12, and this is everything after 13, if that makes sense. Okay, I hope that clears things up a little bit, and I will see you next video.